Okay, but like that being said, if you put punctuation in there, then you're gonna sound like,
Yeah, like I'm 40
Mean.
years old, like, no, I don't need.
you'll sound like mean.
Yeah. It depends on the person.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what people are used to with you, then it's fine.
I mean, I just,
Politics and text.
I don't.
How
Yes.
many lab we live?
Huh?
How many lab
I
we
mean,
live?
people. We got our last unit today.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know. but
The
yes,
last
I
one,
get-
yep. And so we're not getting together next week, obviously, and then the following week will just be an open work week for final project stuff. And we'll have a bunch of time tonight to work on final projects too. Okay.
Out of the class question, remove something, the same thing, or do you have anything left?
Monday is gonna be, I'll have some sort of activity for you on Monday, not necessarily a lecture,
Like an assignment.
like bingo. Yeah, I mean, it'll be like an in-class thing, just to prep you for the last few weeks of class. Make sure you
Yeah, it's like
can.
Thanksgiving games.
I need to make sure you can do the workflows I want you to do for the final project, and the exam, or the final exam mainly, sorry.
Something that went paper for Haynes, yeah, I'm just gonna print it in whenever. No, I'm
I
gonna
tried, I also got this.
And Supriya, this week's stuff isn't actually entirely new either, it's just piggybacking on past week's stuff.
Okay. In the last class, he used the rainfall data. I got till this, but I was not able to save it. This did not work. for me. This,
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
like-
do this because we're not plotting rainfall data. We're just plotting, I mean, we're just
Yeah.
mapping these
He won't
addresses.
say it here.
Okay.
That
So
is-
my question is, the address, this is the address you could access?
Yeah, this is the address I accessed.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, then what?
And then, so my
I'm just
confusion
saying,
is,
you can be
now
passive
this
aggressive and say things
address
that you
is
want,
same
but.
as this one.
Mhm.
So do I do this? But then this is like,
I think you're taking
the
the
list
the right
created.
person, regardless. of
do I
what it
do
is.
this or do I do this? Because this is similar to this data.
Check the proper level.
Wow. But then he's plotting, he's kind of mapping the rainfall data. He's using this. He's not
Okay.
using,
You just
do
have
you
a
get what I'm saying?
password.
वो ये plot कर रहा है map में, तो rainfall कितना हुआ उसको layer के,
Not
it's
just like,
going to be
not just
a
like.
layer.
Not even really.
Not just like normal. Or
It's like.
This is
a
what he
critique to
wants
your
us
very
to do in
personal
this
form.
assignment.
Oh,
So,
so I have got this.
oh, this, we have a
Go to
notebook.
the point where they just ask you to.
This is a
be
notebook
person.
created by someone else. He used this while he was teaching.
Okay.
So if you go into your account in ArcGIS and then
It's like having
look
a teacher
for
that teaches like politics, like political science, and then
yeah.
they like start like.
this notebook, maybe it's in the
Yeah,
review.
yeah.
They give you their
Week
opinion.
Yeah, literally.
Oh,
All
Week
right, the
nine,
clock is
you'll
turned
get
over
a
to four
link to this
fifteen.
one.
okay.
We've got the final week of new material in here. This is minutely new material. We're gonna be doing more, a little bit of a different sort of publishing, to ArcGIS Online today. The requirements for the week. We're gonna have some in-class demos today. There's 2 notebooks. Go ahead and you can open this link up, get the notebook saved to your, ArcGIS Online account. And you can get them open and get them ready to go. In terms of requirements for the week, there's a Unit 11 exercise. This pertains a little bit to what we're doing today and also what we did last week with renderers. Renderers was last week, was it? Or was it 2 weeks ago? I can't remember. I have too many classes this week. Yeah, yeah. Seems like there've been a lot of things going on between then and now, which there are. This is your main requirement, point number 3 here. The data are, I have shared the data with you already in the Unit 11 folder. So if you haven't grabbed the Unit 11 folder, grab that, and you'll see the data you're supposed to use in here. There's Thunder acquisitions and departures. Yep. All right, we're recording. Let me get a transcript going here before I get too far ahead of myself. Any questions about anything looking forward? You had a discussion this week was due for your project planning. I looked briefly through that, saw a lot of people giving good feedback. If you want input from me on your proposal plans, today's the time for that. We'll have plenty of time in class today, so if you want my input on them, get it today in class. I am swamped with other things outside of class, so make sure you get my help here. So if there's not any other questions, let's get moving on the notebooks we've got to get through today. So you've got time to work on your own stuff. So I'm following the link on our tasks document. Should take us to a group page. It's like the link isn't liking that, so let's try the one out of the README.
Yeah, I just have to make sure it was like, because it was only taking a dump.
Yeah. Nope, we're missing the overview at the end. So open your notebooks, save them. I've already done that over here, so I'm just gonna open up mine. Our notebooks today. So in terms of when you share data to ArcGIS Online, what are the formats your data can take? That's a great question, right? Yeah.
Very good question. Can be anything. Map, story map, vector map, notebook.
So in the docs here, they've got a handy list of all the different file types we can take to ArcGIS Online. A lot of these are specialized files for Esri products. But we do have common data types like CSVs, which we worked a little bit in CSVs last week. We're going to keep working in a CSV this week. But this week we've also got the ability, you see zip here a lot. We can actually take compressed spatial data files to ArcGIS Online as well. So that's what we're going to be working in with these notebooks today. And we're waiting on kernels to start. There we are. Who's got a notebook loaded? Couple. Who doesn't have a notebook loaded? Two. So according to hands, there's only 6 people in class today. Mentally in class. I'm not in class either. I didn't put my hand up. All right, so you know the drill by this point. We're creating our instance of GIS. This is just like us logging into ArcGIS Online, or at least confirming that we're logged in. And it's going to give us our account information here. Yep, saying we're logged in as me. That's great. So the first thing we need to do is point it to a data set. So we're going to our uploaded files here. And we're going into home. And we're going to upload the national rainfall data. So let's browse to that location, wherever it may be. And you'll notice I'm disobeying the typical rules of working in a, I guess, a computer installed version of GIS. So when we take our data to ArcGIS Pro on our machines here, we unzip the data, correct? Well, now we're not doing that, which is nice because when we download data from the web onto our local machines, it usually comes in a zipped folder anyways. So if we're just downloading, we can take that data and put it right to our ArcGIS online accounts. How's it going, Francis?
Are you good?
Busy. All right, so let's upload those. So here they are. Oops, don't click on it, you'll just download another copy. Not necessary to do that. But what we do need to do, we need to clean up our file name here. So we've uploaded this as national underscore rainfall underscore data underscore demo XYZ .zip. So let's change that and we'll reassign the data set variable to our new file. And now we're going to take our data set and add it as content to ArcGIS Online. So gis.content.add is the function for that. So let's run. And it's going to give us our good old error, probably that it already exists. That's great. Let's do a little bit of editing here to the file name. So let's go back and go into the data. And instead of XYZ, give me your initials. And we can re-upload this. And I'm going to delete my old copy. Just keep things nice and neat. All right, now let's see if we can do that process. Oh wait, I need to change this. Yeah. CRP. Run that and add again. All right, so there's our output showing our link to our content item. So now we're going to publish that shapefile. And this shouldn't take too long. There it is. So if you want to go check out your product, you can. So this is even read in metadata from our shapefile. So now you can get a little information about what the data actually are. We know it's rainfall data, but now we know it comes from National Weather Service. And it's a feature layer now. So now let's put it on a map. You got to make a map instance first. Map 1. Here's our map. We're zoomed to the USA right now. And let's add our published shapefile. So then here are our precipitation data that we read in. Now that I look at this, this isn't even precipitation data. This is discharge data. So these are river gauges, I think, or is this just all the NWS data? So does it have, they're all hydrologic gauges. All right, so any questions on reading zip files? Okey-doke. That concludes number one. Let's get number two open here. This one's just a little bit longer. So this one's working with the crime data that we've got in the zipped folder. So there is a STL crime _1. This is the one that you're gonna read in here. So you'll have to update just a couple things. So it'll be crime _1 for the file name. So first things first, we can run this top cell. And then we can immediately go to files, and we're gonna need to read in our crime data. So let's go to choose file here. STL crime1.gdb, we can open, upload. So here it is right here. So what's this cell doing right here? Input 3 right now. Kristen, what's it doing?
It's like resetting the environments.
Is it resetting the environments?
Changing the name
Changing the name.
Not of the environment.
of the file itself.
Yeah, of the file we just uploaded. Yep, so we're pointing to it here. And we're gonna rename it as this. So before we do this, let's doctor this name a bit to make it unique. Because this is the one that we're gonna upload to ArcGIS Online. So today's 11/16. You can put your initials on there somehow to make it unique. I'm doing mine after an underscore. Getting errors with that? Did you update your the name of your file? Mine's worked all right.
We need to
Are you saying you didn't see anything happen after that, or did you get an error?
upload the last demo. I just did the correct. That'll do it properly.
Oh, you don't need the class demo. You just need the crime STL crime1. And you got an error when you did that? What's the error say?
It's on os.rename. It's no such file or directory for home, or GS home, STL crime. GDB does it.
Give me one moment, please. So there's my, or wait, here's my new one. What's up, Kyer?
I don't have any access to Unit 11 notebooks. I was wondering if I could get help with that.
Yes, I will help you with that in just a second. Yeah, no. Try right clicking this. Or the fire. Right. So go back to it. And can you write with up here and get the location? Ads, I want to get this like mouse support inside, but it all looks okay to me. Try running it again. Try switching it to 1116. Try clicking back into. No, try clicking back in. There, it worked. You were just trying to run it twice and I couldn't find the old one because it had already ran. Yep. So you're good. If you want to update that to 1116, now all you need to change is what you're reading in. And yeah, yep.
I got it.
All right, everybody, you got it, Kyrie? All right, sweet. And everybody else got that cell to run? So the way you can confirm that it runs, because there is no output for this cell, you can hop back to the ArcGIS folder and then back into the home, and you should see your renamed file there. So this next one, we're going to do the same little workflow. We're going to read in wards data. So this is, police wards. So who's policing what ward? So let's go get our wards file here, choose file. And we're bringing in our wards demo 1 XYZ. Upload. And we'll make sure we're renaming to match. So the new name of the file for me is NBR HDS _wards _ my initials _ 2022, since that when we're doing the analysis. So I can go ahead and run this. And like I said, we can pop back and then back into home, and we should see our renamed file here. Then if you run this again, obviously it's going to give you an error. What error would it give you if you tried to run this again?
Because the name is already changed. So
Yep. Yeah, so there's no file in the file path that we're pointing to. And it would let you know that, say it can't find what it's looking for. All right, so let's publish the crime data. So gis.content.add again, same workflow we just did. Updating the names here to be unique, because these are going to ArcGIS Online. So once we've shared our content, you got to publish it. Right there, man. Okay. Know damn well what crime is. All right, so here's our item link. You can check this out briefly. We can see what it looks like in a map viewer, but we're just going to do the same thing in Arc Pro. This is St. Louis crime data from 2016 is what we're looking at here. Okay, continuing. So now, like I said, we're going to look at a map. So we're going to create a map for it. There's our blank map, and now we're going to add our published crime layer. So there's our data set. You can zoom in different areas. Check out our lovely area of St. Louis here. See what crimes go on campus. Simple assault, no injury, thankfully.
I'm gonna guess car thefts.
Yeah, you want to put any money on where those might occur? I don't know. I don't see anything from the Laclede garage over here. Yeah, so this is, here's the pair. So our surface lot right behind the building doesn't have anything for 2016. Here's a bicycle theft. That's an expensive bike, over $500. Destruction of property.
Still, it's not letting me. Not letting me add this.
You need to change the name. You need to do, that's the last.
So here's a theft from the library,
Are you-
over $500.
Yeah, I mean, that's. You have to do GDP. That's it.
Yeah, 'cause I don't understand that about-
Huh? Yeah, they report a theft when somebody doesn't turn in their book. Eric, you still having trouble getting that to?
I checked it. Now in my thing, it just doesn't show.
Robbery, Sonic Temple.
So go back up. You renamed it already. So where's your next time to pass the data set, new names should be like down.
Especially if you're granted. Yeah.
See.
So I guess.
Well, you're passing this to the same, you can't find that, so go back to the data set, new name.
So. I don't know, like, I feel
Now
like
you
I
need to
go on schedule, like my own personal schedule. I'm just thinking, it's like, it seems like it was technically,
There you
this
go.
will be your week for your week.
Doesn't matter again, crossed up and running different cells at different times is giving you problems.
The same thing. It terms.
The job failed.
Job failed,
Yep. For crime publish. Crime don't publish.
why does it say it failed?
Crime don't publish, yeah. Service item ID self done check publish status and status red folder.
It doesn't really exist.
Numbers. Raise exception.
Try running it again. You might have to go try it, you might have to possibly rerun your whole notebook to like get your instance of GIS back up. Cause if it's like a connection sort of thing. I'll make sure you get caught up here and afterward, after we get through this. Yep. Okey doke. Let's see. We've got our map, we've got our data on the map. So now let's publish the wards data. Because we're gonna be, what we're gonna be doing, we're gonna be handling some point aggregation. So we're gonna be aggregating crimes, or I mean, pretty much taking account of crimes per ward polygon. So we're seeing which wards have the most crime, AKA where you need the most police or policing services, or there's obviously something going on. People are having a rough time and are turning to commit crime in these areas. So let's continue. We've got our wards loaded already. So let's give this a new name. It's gonna be STL wards by your initials, and we know it's the 16th. So let's run. So there we've added our data to content. Now we're gonna publish. There it is. So now you can see, here's our URL. We're gonna add layer to our map up here so we can see our wards. Let's zoom out so we can see them. So here are St. Louis City wards. So these are, I mean, you can think of these as jurisdictional sections for the police. Typically, there's multiple wards to a precinct. And all right, now that we've done that, let's remove them. We want to free them up from being on our map so we can use them in an analysis. So we're going to import our summarized data module. What is this input 20 cell doing?
It's aggregating by points, like
Yep.
the polygon wave.
Yeah, so we're inputting points here. And we're gonna aggregate them based on our wards. So you've got your input points, your output layer name, the polygon layer that we're aggregating within, and whether or not we're keeping the boundaries with no points. So here we are getting rid of areas with no points because we have this set to false. So let's change the output name here before we run this, and I'm going to put a ZRP on the end to make it mine, and we can go ahead and run. Might take a moment. It'll also give you an interesting output that you might have never seen before. Say something about credits. I'm just redoing it all and I'm renaming everything so it all matches up. Yeah, going.
It's just, it keeps messing up at the crime.publish and it keeps giving me this exception job failed. And I made sure all the names are updated. I made sure all the previous ones are what they are in there. And it's just like. It's the same exact error. When I did the publish the boards, it was one thing.
Yeah, so we probably have an issue with what we're publishing. So go back up to where we're renaming. Yep. So did you rename this yet?
Yep, this was just renamed, so. Here. So there we go.
Okay, cool. So all right. Now, prime equals shows comes and you ran this. Try running that again.
It's probably gonna say that it's already exists here.
Okay, so that's all right. And is it failing potentially because this already exists? Go back down here. Okay to me. Try going back up to this published line block or published crime. Back up one more. Change this to be something else. Put two in here. Oh, you're still using your passing it, the same name. Now, put that please, God, or, you know what? Comment
Really
this
not
out.
kidding. Yeah. Yeah, and then, I don't know.
I'll read
I
it.
really like these. I like. Actually, that makes sense.
I think it's like pointed.
Use this.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have one meeting.
No, you can put that on. This is just gonna set our variables so we can. There. So did you rerun that? So.
I don't know if that's true. I don't feel like I associate it with those people. You know, you can get a show.
Oh, I should probably get rid of it.
No.
Oh, so now that's,
And you know what, though?
try it, run it. Don't worry about changing it.
What do you do? What do you do? So what did she do? She just does it if she's under it, so she won't like we buy real like the BVs.
Yeah,
And then like.
Oh, it's
the
just
way
giving
we
it
do
the
it is
title, that's not the file name.
Just pretty much garlic, it's or garlic, like a bunch of garlic.
It's not gonna change anything, because it's so, go to your files. And you have to sell.
You have the beans, and then usually my.
Just a good thing to do once. Wow, you've already,
She boiled like 4 pounds of beans.
since you also.
Like, it's not-
Make her whatever you
She-
upload
She knew
has
if you made.
this, but that's what we're searching for.
So. You just like, so then you rinse them. I think, I don't know, I think for, we boil them.
You could just upload that.
So like, I think.
Go back to the original version of it.
She would soak them.
That's probably what I would do, just to make sure nothing weird has happened, then. Substantiated.
Elsewhere and then.
I'll be back to check on it.
My mom made a good job boiling beans. So I'll boil them. So probably the first time I did.
Okay, gonna have to pull our script where we stop and run this again. Or is it gonna chunk out a?
Not going.
He's still waiting. Who's gotten their aggregate points to run? No,
Might take a couple of hours.
no. I did this afternoon. That being said, I did lose track of time while I was running it, but it was only like 5 or 10 minutes, so. It should run.
So like. That's me. In the meeting.
Anybody care to talk final projects while this is running?
What's that?
What does that mean? I just got. Oh, it's done. That means it's done.
It's still running. I got error.
Error. Why you don't have any tokens?
This isn't money out of this.
It's still saying job failed. With all, I just redid everything, the original things.
Try saving the notebook again. And starting truly all over. Cause you got all your file paths all typed now. So the cost is there because this costs tokens to run this tool in ArcGIS online server. So we've paid some imaginary currency to make this run.
Company dollars.
Yeah, I mean, it's at Patty's bucks. Watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And try and create their own internal currency. That's what Esri's done.
Here in the fall, but it's still running.
Well, we'll see if it actually finishes. We've paid
Yeah,
our make-believe currency now. Where's our output?
paid the full, yeah, no.
Huh?
But the product has not been.
No, not yet. No,
The first.
our customers start getting impatient.
So, like, oh my God. I was like. When we start getting into like. Going crazy.
So let's see if this is actually done. I'm gonna try and run the next one. Let's see if crime_summary actually exists yet. Oh, it's failing. Why is it failing? Hold on, yeah, but job canceled. I didn't cancel the job. I just queued the next cell to run. Didn't like that, I guess. Oh my gosh, so now it's telling me it already exists, so.
Just change the name.
What a joke.
Dropped off when you were. Yeah, I think she started.
It's done for me.
She's a nurse, so she started doing the night shift, so then it's like, she's like, "Oh, good, good." Which is like.
Top of this one.
She'll come the other, few days off, like consecutively, she'll usually make a good.
All right, we'll try rerunning it.
I had the same problem. Now it's.
Oh, yeah.
Doing
She
okay.
was done.
Yeah.
Childcare's over.
It just got angry when I tried to run that next cell. Blame on my lack of patience, I suppose.
You know it's bad. It's good.
So final projects, what are y'all doing? I know I saw people posting discussions. Anybody care to share? Anybody have an idea they think is truly cool? No. I saw a bunch of data prep exercises, pretty much. Extracting values to polygons, that sort of thing. A lot of proximity analysis type stuff, kernel densities.
It's just each time. I just tried redoing it. but scratch. It's just not-
Okay.
Lot to do
surprises.
actually with kernel density, because there are like 4 or 5 different tools, so
Yep. Yeah, there's, I mean,
the line tool, the point tool, there can be different density analysis.
yeah, it's, there's also that kernel density is only one way of interpolating values too. The like geostatistical wizard has all the other like statistical methods of interpolating. Those aren't as easily automated though as the kernel density tool is. Because those give you there's a lot of tweaking of your best fit surface along the way. If while you are waiting for this to run, oh, I just ran, never mind. Let's say if you want to start working on final project stuff now, you can. But since this is done, let's get through the end of this notebook. So I've got my crime underscore summary variable assigned now as the aggregated points within our wards. So now we're going to do our publishing workflow. So there's our layer in URL form. I'll make our crime map now so we can put our result on it. Map, use our little stop sheet to get it to produce what we paid for. So adding our layer, here are the results of our layer. How's this symbolized right now? Graduated symbols. So you can see where crime is most popular by ward now. So we've taken an immense amount of points and made some sense out of them. So, I mean, i.e. if you are the city of St. Louis and you're setting your patrols for these different wards, areas with larger circles, you probably want more police. You probably need to focus some more economic resources towards these areas to try and reinvigorate some sort of wealth in these spaces, because typically when people are stressed, they're the ones committing crimes. So, okay, there we go. We've got, that's our layer added. We're gonna give these some, a title, some tags, a snippet. And then we're gonna save it as a web map. I'm gonna change the date. Gonna be November 16. So we can run this cell now. Should get a little output for our web map item.
Send you what wants it send me for do projects for sensing programming, but it's like pretty much I know for programming. It's like so he wants me to do say settling through the data set.
Yep.
And without calculating reference requirements, and then he wants me to do it again, but with calculating a reflected.
Okay.
So like in the remote sensing side, he wanted me to then do like the pixel values really calibrated in NV, so that's using bandmap, he says, and
Yep.
then doing the NV and then compare them.
We can also handle all the band math rate in our Pi too.
Yeah, and that's what he mentioned, like for programming to instead, so steps 3 and 4 there to replace them with Python.
Yeah, yep.
So that's sort of.
Yeah, so there's a separate library for NV, and I think it's called NVPy that you should check out. Because that'll be all like the processing tools, and NV are just worked in the Python functions like the ArcPy tools are, or yeah, ArcPro tools aren't. But
Eric, I found a resource that would be related to that would be.
Oh, you did?
I'm actually not.
Okay.
all right, so here's our web map. I'm just gonna check this out real quick. So there we are. It's got our crime points.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you.
All right, so now in this bottom portion, we're kind of switching tracks. For this bottom portion, we're gonna go from producing geographic outputs like this to creating a supporting graphic like a bar graph. Because being able to show data on a map or your results on a map is great. But what if we wanted to also show the numerical values themselves? Right now, we have ranges of numerical values that are being grouped into different sized symbols. But let's do the same sort of thing. Again, we're using our aggregated data by ward. So let's get the URL for our layer. And now we're getting the feature layer module. And we're gonna set feature layer FL. We're gonna turn our URL into a feature layer, and we're gonna confirm that we are logged into our accounts. Great. So now the library you use in Python for making, more simple graphics is Matplotlib. Matplotlib's already loaded in here, so we don't need to import Matplotlib at all. But that's what we're about to get into here. How we pass things to the Matplotlib functions mostly comes from Panda's spatial data frames. So first thing we need to do is turn our feature layer into a spatial data frame. So we've done that there. Now this next line is going to print the first 5 rows of our table. So we can see this way what fields we have available to us, and we get a sample of the data within our table. Usually just from this, we can tell, does our data need any further cleaning or is it ready to use? So Matplotlib inline, this is just a quick call to get our charts to draw in our notebook. So now we're making a plot here, sdf.plot. Plot is how we create a plot. So we're passing our variable to the plot function. We're going to give it the name, NHD name. We're classifying this by NHD name. And when I say classifying, our ward names are ending up on the x-axis at the bottom. So we're sorting our data by the ward name here. What's going to go on the y-axis is the point count. So x-axis, y-axis, type of chart, and the size of the chart. Pretty simple inputs here. There's a lot more customization you can do to plots as well. But if you want to learn that, go hit up the Matplotlib docs and check out the plot function in there.
Could you also plot those out as separate variables?
What do you mean?
Like, so in the lines above, so NHD, in that same line of code.
Yep.
Just like create lines above it to say like x-axis is NHD underscore name.
Absolutely, yeah. So then if you're mapping a bunch of stuff and you have like different variables that you want to pass on to X and Y, you totally could. Yeah, Yep. Now this is, when we see stuff like this, inputs actually being in quotes that is, our script is designed specifically to run with this table and nothing else. So, I mean, a good method of making that work with other tables would be to call the position in the table rather than the name, the specific name. Because you can put the position in here too. Because like 0 would be our first column, 1 would be second column,
I
and
was
so
also
on.
wondering if it would make it easier to read so that you know that that's the X variant, the X axis and the Y axis. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, in terms of keeping things straight in your own head
Yeah.
too, Yep. So let's get our output here. So here we are. Notice we don't have any labels right now. For one of our axes. We've got an X label, but we don't have a Y. That's one of the things you can add. So what's this showing right now?
Count per board,
What's point count?
the amount of crime points.
Yep, number of crimes in a single ward. So now we're going to sort these values. So now we've got point count increasing as we scroll down in our table. So 719 being the maximum number of crimes in any one ward. 3 being the minimum. We got rid of wards with no crime. Oh, so let's see. We sorted by point count. Now we're going to assign variable here. So we're going to reorganize our graphic to be sorted as well. So we can run this. We're going to resort. This is resorting our table by the index here. And now we're going to pass our sorted SDF variable onto our plot function. So we can run. So now we've got sorting occurring where our wards with the most crimes are over at the right. Wards with fewer crimes are over at the left. I see these sorts of figures all the time. In terms of importance scores for any of you machine learners out there, you'll run some machine learning and your machine learning will output a figure a lot like this. It'll, be sorted like this. It'll have your most important features over on the right, least important features over on the left. But the nice thing about these is then you can just right click, save image as, and you have like your figure to put in your paper. Yeah. So a little example of publishing some different data types, working with mostly zips. And we ran an analysis here and then we took the results of that analysis and we put them in a bar graph. Any questions on part number 2 here? Alrighty, if there are no questions, the rest of the time this evening is yours. If you came in late, we will not be meeting next week, right? Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your couple of days off. The week after that will be dedicated 100% to working on final projects. So you have taking time into account today, let's say about 2 hours. And then if we meet at 2 Wednesdays from now, that'll give us about 5 hours of work time on final projects in class. So it's really not a lot. Might seem like a lot, but it's not. So make sure you get your work done ahead of time, because December 7th is closer than you may think. Yeah. So use me today for feedback on your proposals. We can sit down and I'll look at your proposal before I come visit you. And then we can look at it with each other one-on-one if you want to get some feedback from me. Okay.
So also just look at your discussion. Post, what is that?
pretty much. Mosaic. For me, it says maybe, but it's gonna be satellite.
Okay.
And then, so I'm gonna do it once without calculating reflectance. Then I'm gonna do it again with calculating reflectance. And then,
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm planning.
so I think those two
Sounds good.
steps are gonna be done in Pix4D.
Like adding a layer.
And what?
Pix4D. It's a, it's like a.
Yeah,
Like
okay, give me something to give you some feedback on.
Oh, okay.
That's just your.
So there's.
I wish we did that instead of math.
Yep. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then.
that's, I'm
So
reading
where
that
the
from
coding
people
comes
like
in
you.
is I'm gonna
And,
do like the image.
I mean, I just
like make
give
sure
you
that
a general outline.
the
it's-
pixel values are like
Yeah.
0.0 and 1 instead of weird. Higher, lower
Yep.
values. So pretty much the way you would do that without coding would be like using
Yeah.
in NV. But instead I'm gonna use Python. And I'm gonna calculate the NDVI.
So.
So, and that's gonna be
No, so I try to open it again.
pretty much, I'm gonna calculate NDVI for the like non-calculated reflectance mosaicing. The
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. So,
Calibrated, normalized, zero.
yep, so go up to the analysis tab
So
and then
pretty
there's
much
the
with Python,
environment
it's gonna be
button. On
calibrating
the
an
top
image
there.
and then.
Go in there and change the mask
And then my
to be
remote
neighborhood
sensing
rather
project
than
is gonna
Omaha
still
area.
accept those last.
Cause it's
two
looking
steps
for,
where
what it's doing, it's looking
It's
for
just
a
gonna
data
be-
set that you don't have.
So it's pretty much very similar projects.
Yep.
And it's gonna be using data from.
I got all the way to the end of
the
project
grant
two,
Mhm.
running just it won't have the
So-
points onto the map.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I looked at it. it looks like-
Or, yeah, but.
Yeah.
It's
Similar coding and syntax and stuff. So it's kind of, I tried a couple different ways. It's when you're following, like, there's a field name. So you have to call the field name,
Yeah.
CSV file, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it has to.
And it's eventually I'm gonna be
Yes.
doing.
Yeah,
things
so
like
that's what I, for
sequencing,
sure, that's what I did, but it.
But this is
Let
mainly.
me pull up
just
our
getting me prepared
geocoding
for that.
notebook from,
No. Yeah, pretty much.
that's
Mosaicing.
was that assigned 2 weeks
Calibrating
ago?
data, Calculating
And I'm like,
NDVI.
it's like, cause, yeah, look at CSV, I mean, I know what these are.
Yeah.
Addresses.
Give me a
Yep. Yes.
So.
Figure that out.
But it's, the field is, it's called single line. Right, even size to it, to
Like a.
do that,
See if like you
ahead of
see train just like a.
all the union.
Like.
Like that one, all my.
Yeah, I think that's.
So that's.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely.
So if
That's what I use to define
together,
when I
even if. we're
created
not
that.
necessarily
feature.
together, sometimes it's really nice.
Yeah, I mean, we're using sort of the same workflow. Yeah.
So.
Anyway, it's just.
So when you-
I was cycling through it a couple different times.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
it's fine.
I kept hearing, honestly,
The only issues I have to
like
like,
adding the
like
layer
in terms of like physically
and putting
working, I
that
have to
render
be
in there with
in
that
that
field.
lib because
So.
it's like export.
Have you,
Yes, I can.
now when you did your geocoding, did you
Gas getting access to. the
have
drive
any
that has
luck
the Data
printing
on it,
this
so,
variable?
but yeah,
that
no,
you
in
assigned
terms of
your
like,
geocoding to?
terms of like. Like I just hoping.
Like, so let's see.
That's when I.
Yep.
I
So, in our notebooks, it's like
slowly
this,
realized like during
we would,
about
like some of the GIS was and I was able to sort of.
just like, I mean, like web map item here.
Sort of. All hands on deck.
Right, I have a question about these elements. I feel like I
Okay.
should do this.
Did you?
When I saved it, closed it. went back.
Yeah, I did.
So
Like,
can I just pick
GIS,
up,
advanced
like in a
GIS,
certain
and
cell or I gotta start?
I did.
Showing you.
Run it from the beginning, yeah, because when you close it, there's simple closes, and it won't pass through.
And also, like, when I tried to create a map. So
But
I
also
don't
I
know
do.
how much I learned
We're
when I did
competent, and I did feel really competent, but.
Yeah. So you can hit a
I mean, here's the
comma, zoom,
Even though you didn't take it, you're probably,
And that's
like,
So I did.
probably
but I-
the same
I
level
just
because it's
take
like,
looks
I
and
don't
do
know how much I
finds
really learned
basically
from that.
matters what-
Yeah, it's like,
It doesn't matter.
it was very much a
No.
control C, control V.
I'm gonna need
Kinda class.
Yeah, also just type in USA there and it'll like give a crude zoom to the US.
There, like, just. Understanding.
Yeah, it's not so much the guided like cookbook, step by step, you know. I'm very lucky that. Give me those steps, but it's still like, yeah, it's
So what
like,
you're saying is after I.
it's
define
not as much
the variable.
this is how you do this step
Instead of trying
specifically.
to import
It's
later, just try to run.
You sort of have, like, you're given like what you need to do, but you don't, like,
Yeah,
it's not like they're giving you
so
the exact.
what you see up
functions
here right now, like
So
we've got
like,
Xing equals geocode, single line addresses.
honestly. that's
So
how I
this
feel whenever
is,
I
I mean,
get
this is
assigned,
where
like,
we're
no matter
geocoding our
how
addresses
many I
here.
do.
You chose the sticker.
So we should be able
Sign
to then print
100%.
Xing
Yep.
variable, and that should chunk out something.
That was, okay, that's the thing that I don't.
Which I wish I'd realized that earlier. Like,
Because I think I was going off of what we did.
because like, it would have saved me stress probably, some
I
like,
think I might have skipped that.
you know,
That's maybe-
it's never good.
Okay,
like,
okay.
you know, tell
Because
yourself,
I-
because
so
I'm
then
an
Matt,
idiot, you're an
here-
idiot, and I should have realized like,
Straight down to
hey, you know what,
the
everyone's an
geocoding
idiot.
address. I jumped out of that section.
Okay, okay. So I mean, and that should, it works pretty much the same, except for table.
Because that was using the import pandas.
I think that was a good mindset.
So I was using that.
Hey, I mean,
Yeah, so
Not-
this Chennai rainfall would be
Super
the
important.
example.
I-
Or like.
I really was.
So 11,
If
12.
I had gone in that
Thir-
mindset, I
13
probably would have been like.
So then you
okay,
should,
New map, it was.
I
70
understand what level
failed.
I'm at.
so we haven't done anything interesting till this point with geocoding.
I did geography.
Because all we've done is read in the data set,
Where it's got me.
imported data and the
I started
content.
doing engineering, like, ooh, this is,
That's-
getting to like calc two, I'm like, no,
That's
this ain't,
essentially
this is
that.
no point.
Yeah,
I did history, I'm like, don't wanna teach, and then.
Creating a
I was like,
map,
geography,
that's just
like,
a
I
new
guess, right,
map.
Like, so we can load that job to like engineers, but all of that, and now I'm here.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
oh, I just have to learn GIS,
So it was
it's
17,
it's like, oh,
but it was
now I need to like understand
Because that's where it should be.
to GIS software, like in terms of like how to make it, how to like do all this.
That rainfall period, it was.
Yeah. It's made me realize that throughout all
So-
my life,
And
I've
and
just
that
used- I've
that
taken
address.
taking
was the
computers
address
for granted.
location,
Yeah.
that's
I
that,
just use
that's
them,
the
you know,
field.
and then I'm like, oh.
Yeah, so
now I actually
location is just where you
know how they
input
work.
whatever location information. So
That's where I'm messing up.
yeah, if you're changing address is that's a default call out.
So it shouldn't be location, it should be single line.
Whatever field you're
That's where it's
geocoding.
Okay, I had it flip flopped.
Okay, I do it.
Where it's an address, I can deal with single line.
these
So let me switch that.
So it should be address colon single line address. Yep.
I understand.
And then that should get you there.
Okay.
Yeah. I like your shirt. What is that? Is that
This is
you under a tree?
the backs.
Oh,
So they,
cool.
yeah,
Bunch of redheads.
they're not, I don't think they're redheads. I don't know, I guess it's just like one.
Is
I
that
guess
bad?
like this is, yeah. this is
The
Beth.
Auburn.
This is Beth herself.
What's
So
up?
I.
No.
Yes. I tried to do like, you know, when we get into one project.
Yes.
That is really CSV in that.
Yeah.
I tried to do it like that. And that being said, I. This is like. With the planet imagery you gave me.
Yep.
I realized that
You didn't do it from the city.
planet imagery,
Yes.
and I figured it would be planned to run that. Like do an imagery analysis through Python.
It would.
Um.
You can totally do that. What are you gonna do?
Just to do like an NDVI, like just start and simple.
That's fantastic. The only thing I want you to do is to take it a little bit further.
give me an AOI to evaluate the NDVI within.
how it formats when it reads the
Mhm.
And output the mean NDVI within that area for each image.
Anytime I try to read anything from the CSV.
Okay.
Okay.
However,
the value-
setting an AOI within
Getting that same error, so I was like,
Is it possible?
is it possible, but
Well, then the geocode.
but I just feel like it's possible, but I just don't feel like it,
You do.
because it's already set the AOI for me at quite a small.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
So, and you can see individual fields within your planet data, right?
For each.
I do what I have.
Then you specify.
It would be cool if you could have multiple AOIs and the AOIs would just be set to each field in the image that you have.
That would be cool.
Then you could report the mean NDVI for each field
Yeah,
within each image.
I also realized that I'm totally scrapping the idea of doing a like
Comparison.
comparison
that's
with
fine.
Landsat, because Landsat looks terrible.
Well, yeah, it's 30-meter data. Those fields are probably about 30 meters wide.
I was just like, this is not happening for a single field,
Yeah.
and it won't be no fun to process, because it was like a cloud.
I was getting that, error.
Like,
too.
like I can't
Oh,
see
yeah.
any of
CSV, I did put in the
Okay.
error, just write down the address.
I just did
Instead
it
of
as
just
a
reading
list.
it. Let me know if
All
I'm
right.
doing this wrong.
there's a-
Right.
Yes.
Bring the CSV later.
Yes.
We'll see.
Don't you just put addresses?
Well, I'm gonna ask because I did it with that.
This is your download software. I expect the same mess.
And I'm like, this should be the right format,
Yeah, so I,
but it just didn't work.
Yeah.
And it works.
I don't know if it's because I was impatient. I did really try my best on it, but I just.
I thought that's a great.
That looks eventually.
so,
They approved this. Just highlight it right now. Start typing it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna.
MD563.
Yeah, so like identify.
JSON wouldn't read in.
Yeah, so.
I was literally just looking at these data earlier today.
Oh,
So the address instead, but I just ran that and it ran.
But it's not shitting down to some point.
So then if you want to open multiple at the same time, you totally can, you know that.
And it's like it didn't do this.
yeah, well, I'm opening multiple, but the way that I've known to do that in the past is use the text document. But the planet imagery doesn't have that, so I was kind of at a loss for how to do that.
No, you're good. So, go ahead, go back to open. So once you're in this folder, you know you want to open JSON, right?
Mhm.
So go over here and go to all files.
Yeah, yeah.
Find JSON.
So weird.
Okay, reading all of this as one and somehow putting it
Well,
on.
I knew
Well, the
that.
other way-
I had already-
It's not at the origin.
The other way you could do it is just go up here and type metadata.
Maybe a for loop in, like when you're geocoding, so.
This guy.
Yeah. You have your addresses.
Look. So. everything
Well, no.
Yeah. Kind of.
Filter
for JSON, it's ridiculous. Yeah. So
Well-
now
Be,
geo.
well, yeah, now you can control.
Then I did.
Yeah, you should have like you and address.
But-
Control. I was going, I'd have like. It's like a 600-mile long river.
I was able to
I
do
had
it just
without
geocode,
batch.
yeah,
That was for it.
and I tried to do this.
I was trying to open them all and trying to mosaic them all in one image. Proving
And then-
difficult to open all at once and do all that processing in one step.
Yeah.
And then this is the important content.
So I will just do one open. But that being said, this is why.
Well, you have individual plots here too. So
Yes.
all little rectangles, so.
Yes, and all those little plots are different bits of information.
Exactly, yeah.
for that.
They're usually all different planting dates.
They're all for different labs.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
So I assume there's different species of plants in there
Yeah.
too.
yeah,
Yep.
they're all for different research projects
Yeah.
at different labs.
Yep. Different schools. I mean, I know we work out there, University of Illinois works out there.
Well, no, I think this field is all for,
Okay.
so it's all the different labs like in there. So,
So, I mean, like a polygon for each of these would be cool. And then,
do you think, okay, but with like, you knowing a little bit more, like, do you think that was really useful as far as like information goes, that small?
it would be a lot more interesting than looking at the whole area as one.
Hold on.
Yeah.
And then you
One
have to
last
put it on the US.
Because, I mean, well, first off, if you make these polygons, they're gonna exist forever. And they will allow other people to do the same sort of thing as you. And if you create a script, then it will truly be like automatable and it will exist forever.
Yeah.
So regardless of whether or not it winds up being scientifically significant
Yeah,
at this point, it is still a good outcome.
I see.
'Cause, I mean, like your trends are gonna be all over the place in terms of NDVI over time. Because these plots are experimental, there's different crops growing, there's different planting dates.
You look at a restaurant online, it's like
Yeah,
So, I mean, it truly varies by plot.
soda.
So
rated
that's
at
why I say it
90%.
would be interesting
Great,
to
like,
see
nothing I
each
could
plot
You know,
treated
you know, they won't
individually.
get it.
what if,
Yeah,
so
for
if
real.
these are like. Really, like vivid plots,
Mhm.
can I just go for that?
Yeah,
Instead of
yeah.
Trying to mess with all of this blurring.
Well, I mean, you can also like see like plot shapes down here. So if you wanna make 2 rows and just have like the cutoff be this, cause this is like the property line here. These plots are smaller.
Yeah, so like this is a plot.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
I
a
think
plot.
this is 2 plots, the way I interpret it. See this
Where
little
is-
break in color right here that kind of goes along this trend
Okay.
line.
I'm with you. Oh, I'm with you. I see it
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Like the
And,
man-
yeah, and it's not gonna be perfect, cause they're kind of, I mean,
Like,
still being 3 meter, they're a bit
1, 2,
fuzzy.
3, 4,
I don't know.
maybe this one.
Yeah, the corner can be one
And
there.
then
Tell it.
this one.
You should be able, I don't know
This one.
which one it is, but
Yeah,
These like 8 real nice ones.
it's like,
Okay.
And then, I mean, you can always like switch images and see if they're any better in any others too.
so we did.
Yeah,
one.
so
Oh,
like there.
this one.
So
this one
go
looks
through your
worth it.
images and check it out, cause I mean, different times will give you completely different like
Although-
looks at your plots.
I know from looking at like the satellite data, I need to figure out if there's a building, cause I think this might be,
Your NDVI will tell you.
cause there's no planning. or anything.
Yeah, and I mean, even dirt has like a specific value in NDVI. So things in the negative range, we know to be man-made typically.
Okay, I'm gonna take notes. This is sort of what I wanted to like answer.
I'd say it is.
Well-
You should be able to derive trends for each
Okay,
plot
wait,
over
wait.
time.
Yeah, for each plot. Yeah, and like, that's, I probably try to answer just. And then you.
Well, we already know it's clear enough.
Okay.
What's your output is gonna be NDVI, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So you should be able to calculate the NDVI within each of your polygons for each of your images.
yes.
Yep.
Okay,
So,
so I'm gonna,
so your like research question should be, how does NDVI change at the plot scale over time?
isn't it Planet-Scope what you gave me?
I gave you Super Dove imagery, Planet, Super Dove, Planet Scope is one of their satellites.
Okay, well, because when I know that I don't have to pre-process them now, but when I was trying to pre-process it, I was like,
CSV has much structure.
let's go. These different types.
Yeah,
Super dumb.
yeah,
That's
planets,
gonna end up being important.
PlanetScope is their like programmable satellite that we can point where we want to. And that one's at 30 centimeter resolution versus our 3 meter resolution, so. I mean, still a cool satellite, but. ones are-
As far as like finding imagery or as far as finding information on the like the stuff like that, like how high it is and all of that stuff that I may end up needing to know, is there like a solid resource for that? Where
Absolutely,
do you go?
Planet website,
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so it's just, you're looking it up.
oh yeah, yeah, yep,
Like everything.
we have thousands and thousands of satellites in orbit. There's absolutely no way that you should ever be expected to remember all of the different satellites and then all the different sensors that are on board too.
Yeah, because I found a document that listed it by satellite. And I was
Yeah,
using
yeah.
PlanetScope.
Yeah, the PlanetScope is, well, PlanetScope started before their Dove program, and they had their Doves up that had 4 bands, and they made improvements, so now they have 8 bands, and they call them Super Doves.
Try in geocode and it's 0.
So the whole project will be using.
Okay, now draw your map, draw a map for you. Well, there's different dates. Why is it in? And it's in a lot. Well, we had it just one popped up. It's insane. Is there a problem?
And then, is there anything else that you want me to include to make it?
I would like to know some about your perspective workflow.
Yeah, I can, well, I've got.
Streets.
this resource.
Everything is different.
It's in French.
So where is it getting?
What is, let me see.
Satellite imagery analysis with Python,
Okay.
planet data, although I believe that she's using PlanetScope, so we'll see how that goes. But I was gonna try to adapt this to what I wanna do.
Okay,
And so I was hoping to do this user's tool that we haven't used in class. I don't know how you feel about that, because
that's fine.
I would say.
And for the Python, like if you're working in Python and automating stuff, I don't care if you're using ArcPy or not.
Okay, sweet.
Still needs to be good though. Yeah, you could probably also do that in ArcPy as well.
Hey, Zach,
Okay.
Yes, Sam.
how long are you gonna be there out of curiosity?
I'll be here until everybody leaves.
Okay, so if
Either
I
that
show
or
up in 10
7
minutes,
PM. Huh?
if I show up in 10 minutes and like, you won't be gone?
No, I will be here 10 minutes from now.
Okay, I'll I'll see you soon.
Okay, cool. See ya.
Bye.
Eric, you good?
Yeah, I think I
Okay.
am. Tomorrow. Actually get myself to try and be in the time to start working on it.
Cool.
Yeah, so.
I'll be
Thank
here
you.
at 9:30.
Yep, sounds good.
Yeah, I'll like figure this out.
It's coded for it says.
All right, that sounds good. You're welcome.
Hey, oh boy, you got some.
I got a queue. I'll come over and see you next. How you doing?
And draw things, like that's gotta be the reason it's drawing weird, but I don't know how else you would.
Okay.
Address.
Oh,
Is that, this,
Okay,
that's not the right format, right?
no, that looks right, because it started with.
It shouldn't be like this if I want to use it.
Yeah, it should. So then. I don't know.
Let me pull up your profile real quick and I'll see how many credits you have available.
Now I have them all coming in as one address in front. Okay. This thing, it's a C browser console.
Should be okay on that level.
Because
Redrawing.
we got and
Changing things.
Yeah, they've given you a we need anything specifically when it gives you that error.
Planetary imagery, how many do you need?
but I'm gonna do it like field by field, and then I'm also gonna do it in each of the imagery.
So it's
Images,
gonna be enough, because you have so
and
many of
each of the images are over your eggs different.
Okay, yeah. What planet is? Oh, this is planet imagery.
Like a satellite.
Okay.
It's like a fancy.
What are you looking? Or I guess you have to figure out what
I'm
your
looking
indices. So then what's the, I guess.
Yes, no, yes, it's going to be process, it's going to be just the conclusions based on that. Yeah, but it's based on that. But obviously the code. And then the images I yeah, they'll like live reader. So like I'm obviously product.
Did you?
Yeah, I think it got buried.
Probably, yep.
This week, I don't know how this happened, but.
Assignment.
I need to figure that out because I'm gonna do both of these final subjects this week.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. But
It's here,
because I
Okay.
and the other one she was
both
missing.
of them are gonna take. a long
So
time.
week 8 showing is missing.
So I'd rather
Yes,
just
but
have.
then this is week 8.
Okay.
Thing.
Uh,
That I see.
Yes, I do see. So what do you need to re-upload? You are week 8 then?
8.
Okay, and
Yeah.
project 2. All right, cool. Is that it?
Yeah.
All right,
Thank you.
I'll be right back to him.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
You're gonna be like processing the images.
yeah. So. Okay, I need to. See what.
Are sure you should be good to resubmit?
So if I do something over time. Coding.
All right, Tony.
So my project is gonna be like, finding care deserts in St. Louis.
Oh,
Or,
okay.
or emergency care, so like there's gonna be fire departments.
All right.
Fire and police station. And I was gonna, I did it all using ArcGIS to see what it was.
Yeah.
Well, I
Because I
did,
mean, like,
and then I started doing it myself and I asked for a network data source. Do you know what that would fall under? I looked at the source, it's a service on which the network analysis would be. When I did it myself. I didn't have
So-
anything like that.
Go to your geoprocessing history
Oh, gosh.
analysis.
Oh, analysis.
Yep, and history way over at the left at the top bar. Gotta make service, is that what this is? Does it, and this actually performs your analysis, right?
That's what I'm assuming. I looked it up and.
You just ran it, didn't you?
It looks like it's the same thing. I mean, it's network analyst, so.
Yeah, cool. So, right click that thing.
This one?
No, yep, copy Python. Yeah. Now take it to a notebook. Yes.
that'd be good. We'll change.
So I know.
Oh, it doesn't, we just need somewhere we can paste Python and look at what this input is.
You would do. Like a key.
It's telling you, I mean, I guess.
I guess if you had your own. Data.
So how are you running that service analysis?
How am I running?
Yeah, did you build a network?
No, I just ran it. Like, I just did all this. That's why I'm asking you, because like, you didn't ask for a network when I ran it.
That's awesome.
And that's the other thing. It doesn't ask for facilities. Like.
What,
That's, although the only thing that's required is data source. Everything else is optional.
well, if you have a network data source, that's gonna pull from your network.
You know, where on there.
It's I can totally teach you and explain. You have
Make it
to-
work for your reasons.
This is all like pulling on the ArcGIS.
Literally. But yeah, that research.
So I don't know what you're using as facilities either at this point.
Well, how does it?
Like, I was.
I'm like,
And.
I'm gonna see it later that I want. Is it just?
Let's go back to your
So there's
Python
like.
that you input the snippet from what you ran.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
The drawn, okay.
Yep. So let's
You know,
see,
when
from facilities, would you
it's doing that.
Yes.
It was, that was just an example.
The drawings and like, it's a cave system, so ideally. The pictures like come together like a puzzle and show you became part of the cave system. Like that. Study area, and go to study area.
Mosaic them.
Yeah. and
Eric's mosaicing image with
so, all
Imagery
right,
of Python.
let's
I just have to figure out.
I recommend for this, you're gonna need to build your own network.
Research.
No, all I'm saying is.
It's super easy, so you just need a
Eric,
road
how to
network.
mosaic
and you
imagery
need
with Python,
facilities.
as soon as you get those.
So I
And I also have a
Figure that out.
chapter on like.
I vote you do that, because otherwise, what's like,
Specifically,
Yeah, I just have to figure, I think.
I have the same constraints. Data set.
So, let's see, how do we do this?
Because I know.
Network analysis there.
Yes.
Study area too, like for the cave.
Go up here.
Do you know, like, we're on the earth.
oh, there's no problem.
Let's see, how do we do this?
So yeah, this is the stuff he gave you. That's stuff they won't let you.
What am I,
Leak the crop data,
what am I gonna do with the crop data?
leak it, obviously, proprietary information.
When we get to the right, and they're gonna pay.
Monsanto will come for you, who knows, their seeds.
Or GIS library.
This is very close to finish on.
Did you, is it still,
Yeah, I mean, I got to work.
did you list them all out? Yeah. I don't know why it decided that all the addresses were French after the first time you coded it, but
All the addresses were French.
yeah,
They were all
just one. actually.
for some reason. Pop-up worked fine, and then creating the map worked fine.
I was still
They just
working
went
on
through.
those.
It was like when I log into my Google account as kristen.golitzer at gmail.com, and it thinks that I'm this one German person who has that exact email. And then it turns all of my Google into German for like a day.
Have you ever swiped wrong on the printers in the library and you're a different person?
Yeah. I think it's crazy there's someone named Kristen Golitzer in there.
Now.
Yeah, that has that exact same email too.
Yeah, kristen.golitzer at gmail.
Maybe it's like a working.
But one time I tried to like get into it. I thought it was mine.
After that,
Yeah, it was so trouble.
yeah.
It's amazing to relationships.
Let's see,
Catalog. I think.
How are you?
Yeah.
describe to me what your project.
It's a right path, but-
I'm doing, I don't do projects. I want to do one project for most of the time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going
What I did actually.
to. So that. And then.
So, what's your ad block?
Cheating, Tony, I'm just opening my textbook. I can't remember what button to click to create a network data set anymore.
I don't think that's cheating.
It is for me.
So. So what do you get at your output?
I get like numbers that say, yay, this is a good green plant.
And and ideally, like part of the image will change to show where the crops are healthy.
More green.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna do.
I'm gonna-
What do you think you're gonna?
No, that's what we were talking about. Like, we were just looking at. all the-
Well, and the main issue is that all my brain power right now is going to. Oh, I got it. Thank you. I have to do my entire, the entire semester senior design projects with 4 different people because. For a lot of reasons.
It's just.
The main reason is half my group can't do anything without being told by me to do it. And then they check in 10 times a day to ask me, oh, am I doing this right? How should I do this? Will you help me on this?
You told your professor.
Yeah, but I have a meeting with them after the deadline on Monday. And then the other semi-competent version of my group is in Europe for the week. Our biggest deadline of the entire
What
semester.
are they doing?
We're going for fun with friends.
They should be expelled for that.
So I'm doing all of my own work. I'm
So it's-
redoing everyone else's work. And then I'm doing the work that she would be doing if she was here and not in.
I think you
So
should
I
go
haven't
to your,
thought-
I think
Project.
you should go to your professor. First and foremost and snitch on all of your group members.
Well, see, the thing is, I'm gonna snitch.
Yeah, no,
But
I'm not, yeah, you need,
Before I do that, I'm gonna do everyone else's work because I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
wanna get a bad grade.
I did the same thing, but
So-
yeah, you need, yeah, snitch is.
Excited for that.
No, do all the work and then before you turn it in, go tell the professor, I had to do all the work. Don't give them any credit for this because I did all the work. And then you're done because, yeah, I mean, it's.
Then I'm not done though, because I have to work with the same group all of next semester.
Oh, well, then never mind. You can't blow the relationship up like that if you have to work with them
Okay,
again.
wait, can I just? Is there a way that you can communicate like, oh, hey,
Oh, no, I'm
This-
gonna tell them that I did the entire report.
and then maybe there's just like a casual, like, oh, we decided to shake up the groups.
No, it's not possible.
I know.
Because this whole semester builds, or next semester builds on this semester.
Does that mean you're gonna have to do all the work again next
Yeah, but it's gonna be
semester?
way harder because like this semester, we're developing a conceptual design for our project. And then next semester is like the literal design, like doing real calculation,
Analysis
making
tab.
sure like
Learn how to.
drawing documents, like they're doing things that.
Network analysis, but.
Yeah, but I also.
No,
to do it.
Yes.
I think definitely at least letting your professor know that.
So-
That you, it's like. It's not for everybody.
I already had just a blank one open.
Oh, okay. All right, sweet. So go ahead, Max. So now we need to. Yeah. I can-
So then I got.
Oh, man, that. Stand like that. Oh, special.
Yeah, go on. That's around.
Yeah. You were, do your work. It is.
So make sure you're snapping that to, if you don't have it.
I don't know. I didn't know just today. I did it and I couldn't. No, but I got a map.
That's what I was so mad, like, right? Like, I was, anytime I go.
I
It's
learned
like a
that.
scrolling bitch.
Oh. Because I did. And so forth. I did.
Yeah, they're all gonna be the like.
So after that, I stayed
Hmm.
with GIS. I think if I put it right from.
Cool. So
You've got a good
now we
start.
need some sort of. I mean, your road network there looks totally usable.
Right.
That was the thing, that's just like the, I didn't even.
Well, yeah, actually,
Yeah,
It just went. March.
right. So, I mean, there's no reason.
Okay, good, so you, and you also do.
So just use the architect.
Yeah, there's like, because I was just like,
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, 'cause
No,
I mean, you
it's
are already built
They-
network data sets over there.
Because this map should be.
Oh, yes. But
Figuring out.
you didn't get her.
Yeah,
There was-
exactly, like really, it's just that it's analyzing.
Obviously needed. to-
Are you familiar with network analysis? Because one of the.
I could figure it out.
Yeah, yeah.
And.
So you want like walk time, drive time?
Yeah, I did do
Now what?
I
the-
did.
That'll be like the worst thing.
driving time,
Yeah.
but it said to that travel zone.
You can't like, say, like, just specify them, we just talked about it. Yeah.
It was something.
He said this week for them. This week,
So like, if you use.
Okay.
Make sure you put a distance. But did it make sense to me because.
Very Yeah, it's like this.
It should-
Like
This
this.
house is different.
Yeah, it's like it's
That's
like-
what it came out. We think it was like that.
That's how small it is.
How would I?
So is it like? Like, right there.
Well, we would have to go calculate it first. That, basically, that's saying what's the average distance we travel. Area.
Obviously, the dropping ones.
And we're getting
At least you'll get some
colors
good
showing
data.
us certain areas here, and we obviously know that areas with. Service.
Yeah.
So that's not necessary here.
Okay,
Yeah, and there's like the.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, you produced outputs.
Yeah, it's
On
just
your
I
own
use
without even like
Freebase.
knowing it. Yeah, yeah.
I guess I still just don't know what knows to use.
See if I can find it.
It's referencing their street network.
But it doesn't have to facilities when you run.
You can, like, it sometimes has walkthroughs. So it's not like set your AOI in this, so maybe you can look up like, what is it? Education.
I know how to like, I know how to do all this one task, or like, I know how to like set.
Well, this was police station service area.
I think that's what she.
I was
I'm trying to figure it out.
It's like sort of hybrid.
What I want to do is
How did you pick?
and we have this same way we did this. I work in the there's nowhere in your script that you all have to do is when they're coming in and then doing supervisors. I come in and I get the areas for like wooded areas, the grassed areas, buildings and pavement.
Right,
And I calculate. I do like stormwater calculations based on impervious or impervious areas. So I think what I want to try and do.
Oh, God, what am I thinking?
Its own area through, calculate those and then compare them to a separate.
And that would be like your output
variable plan.
Yeah, okay. That would be your analysis.
I don't know where else that's really would get. Either a tool that does that. Or have to spend. Would be more key than.
Here we go.
That's yeah. Kind of weird.
But thank you for the.
I don't know if that's. Scale.
The names of these things and coding is so like.
Facilities or something.
Seven
I mean, that would go in here, but
Yeah, so.
yeah, you would just put example service area in there and it would know facilities and your process tool. Can I put- Yeah, I mean,
You could just do bumpers.
Okay.
you could, I mean, there's always like service area bumpers too, which are
Look, that'd be
simplified.
cool.
That's pretty much the same.
I wish that I had done a good under, I did it like freshman year, so it's been a while. and I've
Yeah,
gotten
network.
super happy with
Let's
you
go.
know, I got a great grade on it.
Yeah.
It doesn't translate well to doing something else with it, but I think that makes sense. You know, you're building.
What you want it is number.
Then your mask isn't gonna be on green, it's gonna be on
All the
red and you're. So you
network
get
buffer,
like.
just give it an account.
Yeah.
But you have access to
Scripting. You're just using.
you're not just submitting the same thing. Yeah. Well, and like, I don't know, a lot of the code that I end up writing for those classes. Chunks of it are taken from here and there. It's a matter of synthesizing all the pieces from.
Okay. Like you said, like, I feel like I'm expanding.
Oh, it's an art by,
Basically what I'm doing is like. It's like Inner city county. So there are zip codes for St. Clair County and ward. Ward boundaries for the city. But then. Like census income data. For the area. What is this?
Specifying something within the. Three. Yes.
Map that
What?
by zip code,
But
so
how?
that they map that with census
What
data.
Like,
We're
I think those are the two reasons.
And then things
It is like,
scale it, so it's
so
like
that technically.
sizes of 10,000 square feet. So that's basically residential.
So this doesn't have any sort of other information.
And it's like you get all this.
Scroll up.
It's like you get all. That for any region, basically.
Yeah.
Could I build a tool to do that? So I did it for the St. Louis area on this one, try to replicate, but.
This is probably gonna be the image.
So major metro areas.
Yes, so it's all gonna be the same.
Yeah, and it's like if you
Like-
wanted to see smaller. Size.
Or the band, it's the bands, yeah, it's the bands, and those are, this is. One of these is near infrared and the other is red,
Yeah.
so this is following. This is following this.
Absolutely.
It's definitely a-
You got my.
Oh, I guess normalize.
This
It's like this.
Land use stuff.
Oh, thanks.
You're like,
Yeah, yeah, I mean, let's set up a time.
Doing any of this.
I will be here from, well, I'll be here at like 9 in the morning, but I have class tomorrow from 9:30 till basically 11. So between 11 and 2, I think I'm free to be double check. Right. Tell you one thing. Tomorrow, I've got an 11 o'clock meeting, so between noon and 2, I'm free.
Okay,
All right,
thank you.
yep.
So if I do all of my project in Python, is that okay? Is that like still, since I'm doing it on imagery, is that still like remote sensing? Cause that's the one thing we had.
Why you don't want to use ArcPy? Because you already found somebody else's work online. And it's not an ArcPy.
God. Well, yeah, well, I'm not gonna. Well, I may use our.
Huh?
I may use our.
May use ArcPy. I know for a fact you could do your workflow very easily in ArcPy.
You do?
Yeah. You should use the raster calculator to calculate the NDVI.
Okay,
Okay,
I'm gonna look that up and
all right.
figure it out.
You might, if you're using that raster calculator, you might even be able to load your bands in separately too.
But would I be able to? Would I import? Okay, would it be? Okay, if I like, or would it be useful if I imported like NV, like you were talking about, there's like an NV library?
Not gonna be able to do that within ArcPy though, because we can't move stuff around on these computers. So you would need NV library and ArcPy in the same Python environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You
what I
know how to
mean.
do that?
I mean,
do
you just
that
like
on your
import
own
both,
computer.
right?
But no, it's not that easy, because like you'll. Your Python environment's only looking in one place for its libraries right now. And the NVPy location is separate from the ArcPy location. So when you are able to call on one, you're not able to call on the other.
Okay.
The way that we would have to handle it is to clone our default environment for ArcPy. And then move that to a different file folder. And then install NVPy to that file location.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. And then we would have to set our default Python environment to be that newly cloned environment.
So may I present a middle ground where I set like my AOIs in NV and do like that in NV and then use the rest?
Yeah.
Like otherwise I wouldn't really be able to set it.
Like you already know how to do NDVIs and NV too.
Yeah,
That and you saw that Planet Data reads in super easily in NV.
well, yeah, but then I need to do something in Python.
All your post-processing.
Like,
You take your NDVIs and calculate the NDVI within each plot.
yes.
And then if I want to see from you
one summarizing figure that describes the mean NDVI for each plot over time. So there's gonna be a bunch of lines on it. Time on the x-axis, NDVI on the y-axis. And then you'll have a bunch of different lines, one for each plot.
Okay.
Yes, Rachel?
So for my project, remember the cave stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, I haven't been working on that because I've been
Life.
really busy.
Yep.
But what do you think about like doing that for the project, which is like,
Might be tough.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, all that like raster referencing is gonna be unique to the individual rasters. So,
And it's a video, sorry. The
we
images.
can work with that.
Yeah.
Cause I like, we can convert PDF to other formats. It's not entirely out of the question, I guess, I'll say.
I guess it's just the fact that I don't know how to do any of it, which would. prevent
Yeah,
me
yeah,
from
well, you
working.
you need to know what archive tools to use
Yeah.
probably. So there's like, well, there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can do it like the shift and work method or the true like geo-referencing method.
Okay.
And I guess if you're going the geo-referencing method, you need to know things about like other items on the ground nearby. And if all you have is a bunch of maps from underneath the ground,
Yeah.
it could be challenging.
I mean, I can do something else if it's gonna be this.
But I like it could just be, you could totally automate it. I'm not saying it's gonna come out like perfectly accurate, but if like the map has a north arrow on it, then just reference your like your PDF map to north using the north arrow. I'm not sure. I don't think you can open a PDF directly in Arc Pro. But if you can convert it to an image, you can open any image file in Arc Pro. And then you can spatially reference that to the right location. And if you have multiple images, you should be able to, I mean, systematically reference them. But step one is getting those to image. Sure.
No, Adobe Reader had a redaction tool.
It's so foolish, all the tools they try and sell in here. I'm sure this is probably what the federal government uses when they're redacting their documents.
I hope they stick with the black markers.
Yeah.
I hope that it never goes out of style.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks, sir.
Yep, no problem, Tony. I'll see you. There you go. There's a module for that.
Well, that's
PDF to
probably
image.
easier than finding something online.
Yeah, definitely. And this, at least this way, you know, you won't lose any of your pixel size, that sort of thing.
So then I turn it into images, create the study area, like where the cave actually is. and
Yep.
What, just put them together like a puzzle?
Well, they're all gonna come in at the origin.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have probably just like a base shift to get them all like over top of the area. And then you'll have to come up with like warping and shifting for each individual image. It'd probably be mostly. Maybe not the warp tool. This is. 'Cause we don't want to manipulate the stretch. So we probably want shift. all it does is move it to a new location. So if you know the X and Y shift that is appropriate for your images. It should be similar for all of them. What, cause that was Merrimack,
I
right?
think it was the Carroll Cave. one.
Carroll Cave.
Okay, here's. Okay, this isn't. Do the first one, it has like, it's like all the images.
Okay, cool. And then, oh,
I
so
can
you
see
even
it
have a
on-
little reference
Yeah,
here, so yeah. And like, you could get really creative with how you do this, because when you read, convert this PDF to an image and bring it in. Basically, you're gonna try and match this little tiny image to a location on an actual map.
Did I put? Is it in the hole? Let's see.
The great thing about PDFs is they can include an immense amount of detail. So even like with that being pretty tiny on the PDF image, it's actually full size.
Davis Hollow.
Yeah. Davis Hollow, there's Wet Blaze Creek here and also a reservoir that you should be able to use to reference.
Looks like they use the river.
I don't know, it's, I think that's just what they're naming their passages though, because I mean, it's probably an underground river,
Yeah.
would be my guess.
Colors.
I just want to find like the general location of it. I think you could totally handle this, because all the map sheets are referenced, like they're even horizontally or vertically oriented, so your shifts wouldn't actually be all that terrible to handle.
And is the shift done like with the latitude and longitude of?
Whatever units you're working in your map. So you can do it either lat long like shifts, or you can do it meter based.
Would be nice. Okay, tell us. What city it was from? Let's do Troll Lake.
Let's see if I can figure out what reservoir this is. Wet Blaze Creek, Oak Grove School. I just happen to know that there's a million Oak Grove schools out there. We had an Oak Grove school up in Fargo. So let's say Wet Blaze Creek Hatchery. Ozarks.
That's where it sounds like it is since it's South Central.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Oh, I got it here. Yes, Sky here, what's up?
I'm trying to become more acquainted with using the API of like, libraries I can learn.
Yep.
And then if I wanted to see a list of all of them, like, from, ArcGIS.
You're talking ArcGIS Online API,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
Yep, okay, cool. So if you wanna see all the functions on here, then. Requirements. Modules, features. Yeah, so this will give you a good understanding of all the different sorts of functions that we can work in. They're not really functions in ArcGIS or an API anymore.
Right, but I know like you always, from the census department, like the census traffic, it goes from ArcGIS.
Yep.
Whatever module is up there.
Yep.
And then you can import, something from that module. So my understanding,
Yeah.
but I don't know what all you can import. I'll find that.
So let's go to,
I can just. I don't know. Don't wait, figure
Get
that out.
tattoo, get my raster tattoo over.
Exactly.
okay, here's
And
the.
this is just one of my many masters.
This is